Hey folks, welcome back to the Digital Imaging channel. I'm Will, and today we're going to be going over material security classification levels when we work on your scanning project. So material security classification levels, or just security levels as we call them, are basically a designation for the type of material that you provide to us during your scanning project based on the content and data contained on the records. Basically, the security level clarifies how we're going to digitally and physically handle your records while we're working on them. And this is important because all records are unique, so they should be handled based on the type of content that they contain. Each project is gonna have a specific method of digitally and physically scanning them and handling them to keep the records protected. So for example, if you're doing a newspaper scanning project with us, let's say it's newspaper microfilm, that is gonna be processed very differently than if we were doing a police report microfilm scanning project. Vastly different types of records, and they should be processed differently. Let's say you gave us a project with confidential medical records. I'm sure you wouldn't want those just sitting around on the shop floor next to all various types of data, content projects, anything else that we're working on. You want to make sure that your records are being handled, processed, and audited properly, so if you ever need to, you can check on that and make sure that they were not commingled with other records, violating some regulation or some law. So as we jump into the actual security levels, I do want to say that these are security levels that we've designated for our company, for BMI Imaging, and the projects that we handle. Every company is going to have a different way of handling records. This is just what we do so that our folks know when a project is determined to be a certain security level, they know how to handle it. Security level 1, or unclassified, are records that have no PII, or personally identifiable information, and no PHI, personal health information, on the data. These are records that are publicly available. They're handled with normal care. Any of our employees can work with these records. There's no special designation to assign folks to the projects. And an easy example for this is newspaper records. Security level 2, or private data, are records that may contain PII or PHI and are generally in a controlled environment. And what that means is they may be available to the public, but you have to go through a process to get to them. An example of that would be building plans, where you can likely go get them, but you have to go request the information and then it would be provided to you. Level 2 data can be handled by any of our employees. The difference between level 1 and level 2 data is that when we deliver the projects to our clients, they're gonna be delivered on an encrypted USB drive or through a secure FTP electronic transfer, rather than a non-encrypted USB drive or a standard FTP electronic transfer. There's that additional level of security to protect the private data. Security level 3, or secure data, are records that contain or may contain PII, PHI, and fall under regulations such as HIPAA, FERPA, high-tech, or others. L3 records will be kept in designated storage areas within our facility and are segmented away from other records such as L1 and L2 materials. And also, only designated employees can work on L3 or above projects. So there's a little bit additional audit trail there where not any one of our employees can work on any L3 project. They have to be specially assigned to that specific project. Other employees cannot just randomly start working on a project that is L3 unless they are assigned to it. Like L2 projects, L3 projects will also be delivered on secure FTP or on an encrypted USB drive. And a good example of L3 materials would be student records or medical records. The next security level is security level 3 CJIS, and we just call that CJIS internally. Now, CJIS stands for Criminal Justice Information Services, and it's basically any document that contains criminal justice information. The FBI CJIS security policy is the overarching document that guides agencies like police departments, sheriffs, law enforcement agencies more or less, and people that handle CJI, criminal justice information, on how to properly store, handle, process, and use the data. CJIS records are handled in the same way as standard L3 records, except they are additionally segregated even from L3 projects. So you have L1 and L2 are kind of a step below L3, and then once you have CJIS, even that is segregated from standard L3 projects. Because of the FBI CJIS security policy, you have to separate on network and physical storage the CJIS projects from other materials and other projects. Additionally, many clients we work with, if we're doing CJIS projects, so if we're working with the police department or sheriff or someone of that sort, they will have our employees go through live scan background checks. So let's say we have 10 of our employees working on a large paper scanning project. That agency may request that those 10 employees go through a live scan background specific for their project. So we have multiple employees that will go through various live scan checks because the different agencies each require their own live scan. So that's an additional step that we may take for our clients. Projects for L3 are also delivered on either an encrypted USB drive through an SFTP, or if they're using our digital real hosting platform, we have a separate CJIS hosting environment that is actually segregated from our standard production hosting environment. So we made that for CJIS projects. And criminal court cases and police reports would be examples of CJIS materials. Lastly, we have security level 4, also termed secret, which is the top tier of our material security classification levels. Level 4 records are typically highly sensitive or confidential data that are regulated by agencies such as the DOJ or DOD. This is a type of material or a type of project that is not common. We're not typically working on these, but we do have clients that did require this type of security level and required very different protocols than even level 3 or level 3 CJIS. For example, physical storage, not only do they have to be in a secure area separate from the non-classified material, but even within our secured area, such as our vault, which is segregated from our standard production areas, they were contained within individual lockable cages. So imagine you're walking within our production facility, which is already secure from public access. Then we have an on-site vault, which requires certain permissions to get into that vault. And then once you're in the vault, there are lockable cages storing the level 4 material. So it's very segregated from other materials while in storage. When we take the materials out of the secure area to scan the records, they are brought to the secure area, which cannot have anybody in it except designated individuals. And once scanned, they are immediately returned to their lockable containers in those segregated areas. The employees that will work on level 4 projects are not only designated by the production manager, but they have to be approved by our security officer as well as approved individually by the client that is supplying the level 4 material. Once L4 projects are complete, they'll be delivered either by encrypted USB, by secure FTP, or by some method specifically designated by the level 4 material record owner. And federal level confidential documents would be an example of L4 data. So those are the different security levels that we work with internally when we run projects for our clients. You may be thinking, how do I verify this? We could be telling you whatever we want on camera. So we say, exactly, don't just take our word for it. You can verify this, and you should also verify any claims by any companies you're talking to do a project, especially when it's sensitive data. It's very important to verify that folks are handling your records properly. Now, there are a couple different methods to verify our security processes and our compliance and how we handle records, one of which is our annual internal security audit, which is over 45 distinct tasks that we check every year to make sure we're handling records properly, that we have the proper physical and network protocols in place to protect our data and our clients' data. And then we also do an annual external SOC 2 Type 2 audit with an independent auditor to verify that we're not just saying we do it, they're checking that we do it, and it's a unbiased opinion from an outside firm. So if you are gonna go forward with a scanning company, especially for sensitive records, make sure you're verifying how they handle the data, how they handle records, network both digitally and physically, so you get that warm and fuzzy that your data is protected and the project is being run properly. And that's it. Those are the material security classification levels we use when we work on client projects, and we hope that gave you something to think about when you decide to move forward with your scanning project. Thanks for watching. Click the subscribe button to keep getting videos like this, and I'll see you next time.